Connor Rogers, Connor Hughes here at the NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis, and we are talking what else but quarterbacks, Connor. And I think this is among the more interesting classes that we've had over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know there's some uncertainty maybe at the top of who's quarterback one, who's quarterback two, but Cam Ward is certainly one of those two guys from Miami. Big guy, physical guy, strong arm.
Without a doubt. And you look at it, it's not going to be like last year, Connor, 6 in the top 12. Everybody's kind of wondering when will Cam Ward come off the board, but I definitely think things are gravitating towards him being the favorite of a lot of teams. Densely built guy. He's probably going to weigh in here over 220 pounds. He's got a really strong arm, different arm angles, and he can create plays with his legs. And that doesn't mean he's a runner, but more of a scrambler, a guy that can extend plays, keep his eyes downfield, push the ball vertically. And I think things are trending the right way for him. He's played a lot of football where he starts out at Incarnate Ward. He was the best player at that level, transfers up to Washington State, was a little reckless at Washington State, but still made a lot of big-time plays for that team. And he caps off his career with a season at Miami where he was right in the thick of the Heisman race. So this is somebody that's gotten better. You see the turnover-worthy play percentage going down, and still something he needs to improve on. But I think he'll be the top quarterback taken in the draft for all those reasons.
Yeah, and Giants general manager Joe Schoen talked a little bit about Cam Ward a little bit ago here at the Combine, and one thing that he said about him is that one of the games he attended is he has this ability to bring his team back. It's a never-die mentality. It's to constantly keep firing. Now, some of the reasons why he has to bring his team back is because he put them behind the eight ball, but you have to like that in a quarterback.
Yeah, you do, and he's been battle-tested because Miami's defense wasn't very good, and obviously when he played for Washington State, that's a team that gave up a lot of points as well. So he's somebody that has answered the bell. It's like, hey, we need you to go out and get us 40 points today. Can you do it? And he found a way to do it very often. So I don't think the moment's too big for him. I think teams, when they sit down and talk to him, are really going to like his DNA and mindset and the ability where the lights are never too bright. So all things are kind of pointing the right way for Cam Ward in this process to be, once again, the first quarterback taken. That does not mean the first pick, though.
No, and I would say that when you talk about bright lights, there has been no player that has been under the lights more in this class than Shadeur Sanders, the other quarterback here. Deion's kid, obviously. I mean, I feel like we've heard about him dating back to high school, then at Jackson State, now at Colorado. Polarizing prospect, though. You either love him or you don't.
Yeah, once upon a time, and it's funny people are like that because I feel like I'm just right in the middle with Shedeur Sanders. But, once upon a time, a 4-star recruit starts out at Jackson State and then transfers up to Colorado for obvious reasons. Totally different player. He's never going to be the biggest quarterback. It's very curious what he weighs in here at. I know in spring weight, scouts had him below 200 pounds. He'll come in over 200 pounds here. Not the biggest arm. Somebody that really beats you more with the mental side of the game and accuracy. Touch at all three levels. But sacks have been a problem. I know people blame the Colorado offensive line, and that's been a part of the issue. But he's also a guy that holds the ball a lot. So it's going to be interesting to see if Shedeur Sanders, who I think a lot of people view as this top 3, top 5 pick, he's somebody that could have a little bit of a slide because I don't know what the upside is there when you're not a big runner and you don't have a huge arm, but I do think he's a starting quarterback at the next level. Yeah,
what's fascinating about Sanders is it almost feels like if he doesn't go to the Giants at 3 or the Giants trading up at 2, it's, well, where does he end up going? And Connor, I've talked to assistant general managers, I've talked to general managers, I've talked to former general managers, I've talked to coaches, and when it comes to both these quarterbacks, not just Sanders, but Ward and Sanders, there's a consensus, and it's that these guys are probably more of mid to late first-round picks. I heard if J.J. McCarthy or Michael Penix were in this year's class, they are easily the top quarterback taken, well above Sanders, well above Ward, which makes where they go here fascinating because they might get drafted at a spot because of their position, not necessarily their talent level.
Yeah, it's a quarterback curve. It happens every single year, and I think it'll hit harder for Shedeur. I think that Cam Ward, across 5 college seasons, has won enough. Scouts and coaches still love that, as much as fans might laugh at it. It is a big part of the process. He's played a lot of football, and he's consistently gotten better, and he's going to pass all the thresholds, the arm strength, the size, everything along the lines with that. With Shedeur, he's going to have to answer some more of those questions where I don't know if it'll be a draft day slide like Will Levis. I don't expect that, but at the end of the day, like you said, Connor, is there a spot where, we got by that point? Now it might be on a ride because so many teams just don't need a quarterback in this light. So, I think we're kind of locked in where Cam Ward will probably be a top 5 to 7 pick, where Shedeur, there's a world where he goes outside the top 15.
And then there's the next wave of quarterbacks like there always is. And one person, I know you were down in Mobile for the Senior Bowl, and he seemed to improve his stock quite a bit, the Jaxson Dart. And he's a guy that's interesting, played for Lane Kiffin.
Right.
Looks the part, certainly, lively arm, but where do you see him falling? Can he do enough here in Indianapolis interviews to get himself into the first round, or probably more day 2 pick?
Teams want to get in front of this guy because going from the Ole Miss offense where he's taken less than 30 snaps under center over the last 2 years, it's a big adjustment. And day 1 in Mobile, getting the ball from under center was an adjustment. But like you hinted at, Connor, day two, much more accurate, throwing the ball all around the yard, and just a guy that he's did a really good job picking up first downs with his legs the last 2 years. Over 30 first downs each of the last 2 seasons with his legs. But it's a big transition going to an NFL offense for him, where I think with Jaxson Dart, it's more of, would we come back into round one, get him, had that fifth-year option in our back pocket on him. So Dart's done a lot for himself throughout this process. I don't think he's ultimately going to sneak into the top 20, but the question for him is, can he be a first-round pick? I wouldn't be shocked if there's a team out there that makes that move.